Good morning, YouTube. So I'm making a video today because of some issues that my son has been facing. Um, I have three children. My oldest is my son. His name is Sakai. He is 12 years old and in the seventh grade. And Sakai is a very different child. He just is different. I don't know how else to explain it. Um, Unless you've been around him and see him and how he is, then you will not understand that. But if you have been around him, then you understand what I mean. He is a very kind child. He has such a great spirit about him. But he also has things about him that isn't so great. And he can be very annoying at times. And he's been having an ongoing issue with a neighborhood child, and me and the mother have actually almost gotten into a physical confrontation because she refuses to do anything about her child's behavior. And Sakai is not the type to fight back, unfortunately. So I am constantly having to defend him, which, as you all, if you really know me, you know there's nothing in this world I'm not going to do for my kids. I will go to war for my children. I will die for my children. I will do any and everything to protect my children. So yesterday, me and my baby girl, Khalees, walked to the bus stop and met the kids, and as soon as Kai gets off the bus, I can tell immediately that something is wrong. And he proceeds to tell me that these kids just will not leave him alone on the bus. They, pick on him. They call him derogatory names. They talk about his weight. Both my older kids are a little chunky. They could stand to lose a few pounds. I'm working on it. It just won't stop. And with this one child, it's been going on for years, since the kid moved into the neighborhood. I don't encourage violence. However, I have told my son, you need to beat this kid's ass. Straight up. I mean, I'm not, well, I shouldn't say that because I'll fight you too. But, I'm not going to provoke a fight. But I'm not going to back down from a fight. I'm almost 40 years old, and if you step to me, I'm stepping back to you. And I told one of the little kids yesterday, I will protect my child by any means necessary. And I mean that. We as parents, we got to do better with raising better children. This child is just, something is wrong with this one particular child, and something is wrong with his parents. The child's mother is a school teacher in the county that we live in. She doesn't know that I know this. And yet she still chooses to not do anything about her child's behavior. And I don't get it. We've got to raise our children to be better so that they are better human beings for this world. You can't let your child just do and say whatever they want to other people just because you don't want to say anything to your child, or you don't want to discipline your child. Say hi, Khalees.
Hi, guys.
This child comes from a divorced home, and I don't know if he has anger issues because of that or whatever. But this child has some serious issues that his parents, his mother, and his stepfather are refusing to address. And I don't use the whole bullying stuff lightly because I think that it is being misused. But if this is an ongoing issue that we've had with this child for years, what else would you call it? And me and my husband weren't perfect in school either. I was bullied. I bullied kids. One kid I harassed on the bus almost every day too. and I feel bad about that as now. And I realized that I did that because I didn't feel good about myself at that time. When I wasn't a great person at that time, and I had a lot of mental issues going on and just stuff that I was dealing with, and I took it out on this child. My husband was a bully. It is what it is, but we weren't like how to the extreme of these other kids. It's completely changed face, and it's a complete different thing. Do I feel bad about being mean to a couple of the kids growing up on the bus, when I was in middle school? Of course I do. I'm not that person anymore. I have respect for myself now, and I have self-love. And I think a lot of these kids don't have self-love. They don't have self-respect. They're lashing out because of things that are going on in their life and in their home. And they're taking it out on the easiest target. So I put in a phone call to the school today, and I'm hoping to see some results soon, because it's almost to the point where I'm ready to pull all the documentations of all the harassment that Sakai has been experienced over the years and take legal action against these people, whether I get a restraining order against their child or whatnot, because he has physically attacked Sakai. Him and a bunch of kids in the neighborhood jumped Sakai, and Sakai being Sakai, he didn't fight back. He's scared to, and there's nothing that I can do to change that. There's nothing that I can do to make him want to defend himself, but I'm going to defend him by any means necessary. And him, Delaney, and Khalees, they are my children. I am their mother. You're not going to fuck with my kids. I don't care who you are. You could be a child. You could be an adult. You could be a teacher. I don't care who you are. You are not going to mess with my children. Bottom line. You won't disrespect them. You won't do anything that I deem inappropriate to my children without feeling my wrath. And I mean that. I'm hard on my kids because the world out there is hard. But I'm not going to have someone else trying to bring my child down. I'm not trying to bring my children down. I'm trying to lift my children up. I'm trying to make strong, independent kids, because I want them to be strong, independent adults. We as parents, we have got to lead the way and show and teach our children the right way. But unfortunately, there's all kinds of just nasty, crappy, shitty people out there that don't care about themselves. So they don't care about how their children treat other children or what their children do to other children and the consequences that it can lead to. So, I'm going to end this today on another note, because there is another topic that I was going to do a YouTube video. I know that I had said on my last one that my next YouTube video was going to be my most vulnerable one yet, and I have decided not to share that story yet. I'm just not comfortable yet, but to all the women and all the men that are victims of sexual harassment or sexual assault, my message to you today is me too. And maybe one day I will tell my story and share my story. Actually, I have experienced several assaults, but I'm not in a place yet where I feel the need to share that to such a small audience. And I'm sorry, guys. I love you. Thank you for being my subscribers. But it is something that I am going to address one day and talk about one day, because, it's a big problem. And it's a lot is how we're raising it goes back to how we're raising our sons. We are not raising our sons right. And I say we in a sense of just everyone, you know, and not everyone, because of course there are great men out there. You know, there are great, great men out there. But we've got to do better. We've got to do better with teaching our children rules and structure and boundaries. But yeah, I think I'm going to talk about that soon. My next YouTube video will be about how can we combat sexual assault versus maybe telling my stories. But anyway, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch my video.
Bye.
And if you know a child is struggling with being bullied or being harassed, or you know a child is being a bully, do something about it. You know, no child should be uncomfortable at school. No child should be uncomfortable at the bus. No child should come home in tears because every day they are being picked on. We've got to stop this. You know, we've got to stop this. We are creating a world where it is not safe. And it's not acceptable to have to be in fear of getting on the bus or going to school because you don't know what people are going to say to you that day. But anyway, it is Wednesday, so we have made it halfway through the work week. I work at night. I'm tired. I know I look crazy. I know I probably rambled some, but it is what it is. I have a crazy life, just like everybody else. But thank you for taking the time out again today to watch, and I will be posting another video soon. Have a good day.